Hello. We'll start in 5 minutes. Hello. Sound testing 1 2 3. Sound testing 1 2 3. 1 2 3. All right. So, starting from the yesterday, what we have here is like three projects, uh, which are basically using Bootstrap starter kits, and today we'll try to integrate uh, Perch CSS into it and see how these metrics are going to change based on that. So uh, just to sum up, yesterday we had this base metric for these three bundlers, so webpack, parcel, and weight. uh, and we are using this pricing page again, which is a template from the Bootstrap's example pages. In here, when we run basic page and do the build, so we are getting these sizes for the CSS. After that, we did uh, SCSS optimization, so in which we kind of had like cherry picked what models or what CSS uh, models that we want to keep and just commented our test of these. And after that we have received like optimizations where like 100 around like 100 kb of optimization in all three bundlers. So today we'll use purge css and try to figure out how we can use that to like optimize our final css file size. And after that uh, we will try to replicate the same thing across all of this. So initially we'll start with the webpack first. Okay, so as we discussed yesterday, like there are already like some community docs or community articles, you can say, that can help us to like get some idea about like how we can remove the unused CSS in here. Okay, so yeah, like we just want to optimize the unused CSS and like remove it from our final bundled CSS. uh, this is the article that has like this is one of the article that was included in like I mentioned into the docs, Bootstrap's official docs. Then we have few more of this, like this one from Luke. He's using Webpack plugin to do the optimizations directly, and so on. Then this one is from Nipia. So uh, I hope I pronounced it correctly. So anyway, like what he's doing here is like he's creating the Bootstrap grid. Like he's using just like final outputted file and calling the purge CSS CLI commands to optimize and remove the unused CSS, as you can see, and just so this is not directly included into the like a bundler. So it's not like going to directly happen into the whatever the tooling that you are using. So first we'll try to go with the webpack, and also there is like official plugin, I believe. This is official from purge css for webpack. So in here we do have like min css, and we can just use the purge css and blah blah blah. But one thing about the Bootstrap is that we also have the SAS, so we'll have to do a little bit R&D on this and how we can optimize. We do have one example in like let's check if it's there is an example from Luke here that whether he is using SAS or not. I do see the SAS file. Okay, okay, so basically, yeah, he's using the SAS here, like using some extract text plugin, and then uh, uh, like trying to optimize these using these two. Okay, so what we are going to do is like experiment with these. So starting with webpack. Okay, I have to do some old commands running. Let's close those. Okay, let's cd into the webpack. In here, what we can do first is basically install the webpack plugin. We'll just try to figure out if that works. So I'll create a separate branch here, say webpack purge, just to keep things clean, and then I'll install the purge css webpack plugin. And then what they're saying is like using with min css extract plugin, okay, which we are already using one. We have this, and under the plugins I think we just have to specify the plugin. Okay, let's try to run this. If that works, then it's good for us. So first thing, we'll try to import the purge css plugin, and where this is being used, so this is directly being used in here. So what we'll do, Under the plugins, after the main CSS extract plugin, we can register this one. Okay, let's say glob and paths are some imports that we have to do as well. So we'll do the glob import in here as well. And what else do we have? I do see there's like linting errors or something. Variable paths .ssc not defined. Okay, paths. Okay. So we can just copy this one for now. Just trying to figure out and try to get things working. Node again. I think it's just the configuration of that. Let's try to check the configuration of the purge CSS so that we can see what else is there. Okay, so we can just do this in here as well, or we can directly pass the plugin into the purge. So purge CSS plugin paths is something we are passing, and I think the paths okay, I don't see like any of these like paths or anything that is used in here. I think this has to be offered by plugin itself, this configuration, like how this can be done. Is there any way that we can check it the code? No, undefined options. Okay, purchases plugin options. You define options. Okay, we can parts the paths, sub list, block list, and so on. Anyway, let's try to run the build now. I don't think it will work, but anyway, let's give it a shot. Interesting. Now we have the CSS around 22 KB. Then we'll try to serve the Express server that we set up yesterday, wherein whatever the build is generated here, which will be served directly through node index.js, which is just going to serve the this directory and whatever the root that is inside it. So let's try to run that. Pm run express is the command here. Okay, running on port 3000. Interesting. Looks like everything is working as expected. Okay, the JavaScript is broken. Okay, so it looks like I did not pick up on the file. So let's try to reload again. The min.css is 22 KB and the JavaScript is this. And let's see what's inside this file. We have the typography, column, buttons. Yeah, we do have the drop down, but it's not working for some reason at the moment. Okay, interesting. Let's try to reload. Or it's the JavaScript is not working basically. What can we do here? Okay, so instead of saying I just want to get every paths in here. Paths dot blah blah blah. Purge CSS plugin, where to look for the paths and so on. We can even simplify this later on, but why our okay, so if we remove this plugin now, nothing should break, and if we run the build again, or just to cross check if our JavaScript is getting included in there, the drop downs are not working basically. Okay, let's try to solve that. By the way, you can just run the webpack built-in server, and that should work. Yeah. So after adding the path CSS, it's for some reason it's not working this part. And I think what we'll need to do here is, you know what, like before that, let's try to check if uh, the drop downs are working fine. Like I think there is some custom code going on, but I'm not sure. So what we'll do is uh, let's try to split this up and run the build again with the webpack plugin enabled, so that we can test with that. Npm run build. Okay, we can also do like hot model replacement here, like npm run start. Okay, now we have this 22 KB in the bundle size, and we should be hitting port 8080, which is the default that we have configured in the webpack for webpack server. And if I run that, this is not working. So okay, let's try to figure out what's going on in here. Yeah, first thing we'll need to check if drop downs are working fine. And so if that's the case, like could be the JavaScript that is not working. Okay, so I'm just copying this sample from Bootstrap's example, and let's try to place it at the top somewhere. SVG, we have this menu, and we have this main contain. This, let's try to add over here. Okay, yeah, the drop downs are not working. How we can make it work? Like we have selected the it looks like there is some toggle CSS that is not included or something. So let's try to figure out why it's not working. Okay, so what I'll do, like I'll just revert back this plugin and rebuild do the build again, and after that I think we'll have to like whitelist some CSS tags here. Okay, so let's do the build again. Okay, we have the build, and just try to dive to what's going on with the drop down. When I click on it, it just adds some classes on this button toggle, button never show. Okay, so it looks like it needs to have the show class on this. So let's try to whitelist that, and ensure what we can do is it like what is the options in here, like default options, and use user defined options. Sep list is something we can pass. So sep list is just a list of array. So we can just say I want to pass the sep list and just show, and then by enabling that we'll run the build again. Okay, now we are at 22.5 KB. If we refresh this, okay, button toggle, yeah, some CSS is not loaded in here. Basically the toggles are working fine. Show is there. Let's try to see if the show is added in here. No. So for example, if I say drop down, yes, drop down. Okay, let's select the body. Like what's going on? Drop down, and how can I search through the CSS? main.css, and if I just type drop down is there, and do we have the show class? No. So I'll need to figure out how we can add this safe list. Okay, safe list, blah blah blah. Okay, interesting. So okay, we do have like safe list that we can add, but we'll just look into the webpacks here. Optimizations, glitchings, cache group. Okay, let's try to add this command as well. Maybe that could be the reasons. Do we have any optimizations going on here? No. So what it's saying, like split chunks, cache groups, blah blah blah, optimization. I don't think again this will work, but let's give it a shot. Okay, run the build again. Okay, same thing. JavaScript minimize, Windows CSS 22 KB. Okay, let's give it another try. Do we have the show class in it? Nope. Then main.css index.html. Truth is, so basically like this optimization is, I'm not sure if that's working or not. Like anyway, let's refer the docs again. Multiple paths. If you need multiple paths for globe all thing options, paths purchases node is equal to 3. If you you likely need to pass node and an option groups. Okay. You can specify chunks name to pursue okay, safe list. Okay, we do have the safe list in here. It's similar to as of the pass option. You can also define the function for this option. What is this? How can I like this is collected safe list, safe listed deep. So like similar as a pass option, you can also define function for this option. Basically this sub list is not something we are looking into. Vendor path only plugins. I don't see any useful options in paths. Is there only specify the name chunks? No. Watch is something that we have rejected. Interesting. It's like not much helpful in here. Let's do the ChatGPT here, and what we'll do is webpack for CSS or Bootstrap. So I always misspell the Bootstrap. Webpack plugin post CSS dash for CSS. Okay. Now it is equal to true. Yeah, this is what we have already done. So let's I want to whitelist some classes. Basically the show class is not available in here, so that is why it's not like the drop downs are not working. So when we click on it, it adds this show class in here. And if we search through the CSS, you'll see that this show classes does not exist in here. So that is the reason it's not working. So we need to whitelist these parameters like classes. How we can do that? There's the configuration or something that we can use plugin .css content is equal to blah blah blah. Safe list class name to safe list. Okay, is there any like API or something? Safe listing properties. Okay, default option. Can I pass like safe list? Yep, we are already passing it. And let's say like anything show network 20 point something. We were getting like 130. Now we are like 22.4. And nope, it's not working. How can we like no dear, I want to pass a safe list. Similar to other path option, you can define the function for this option. Safe listed standard. Okay, let's try it this way as well. Like we'll just try to return our 3D standard. Like I just want the safe listed to be show class, and let's try that as well. And here you just return this function. I think we have to just like pass it as an object instead of just list, if I'm not wrong. Like that is what has to do something. Let's give it another try. Okay, now we are looking at the same size, no change. Will it work? No, it's not working. Okay. Safe list show class. Okay, how can you help me? Okay, we just have to do this. I hope this will work. Yeah, but it's like we have to add this path or anything. So paths is equal to paths is the like strings and blah blah blah. Anyway, let's try the build again. Okay, now we are seeing the list file size, which is weird. And I do not see this is added. Strange. Anyway, like, is the responsiveness is working? Like, is there any other issues? Looks like it's working fine. Yeah, there is some like this class is not also working. Okay, interesting. So we have to figure out First of all, let's revert it back and like disable this plugin for now. And check if there is actually, I think there is a show class, but it's not working for some reason. Okay, now we're back to 130 KB. And if we refresh, then over on this, like where the buttons are, and when we click try and search for the show here, interesting, there is no such class. I was wrong. So how this is working here and not over there? What am I missing? Wait a minute. Didn't he just restart? Oh, my bad. Okay, instead of doing this, let's try in the Express server. I think there is some issue with, maybe I need to restart the server or something like that. That could be the reason it was not working. Okay, it's working now. And if we enable this one and run the build again, since we are here, we'll just try to check the elements and CSS again, and just try to find out the show class button show. Okay, I can now find out this there is such class now. Okay, now we have the build, we have optimized this. Let's try to refresh. Oh, we do not see that class again. So okay, so let's try like the drop down class is not working. Okay, this is stupid answer. Dot show is not included. Hey, this is okay. Let's try this one also. Like how were they will try like actually working. Let's try this one. So anything matching drop down or show or something, is that what you're saying? I don't think this will work. What we need to do is like this one, stop this, and anything after the drop down should be included. What are we looking at? 22.4 again, same. No, it's not working. Let's disable that and do the build again. Okay, now we are back. So we can see some classes. So what we'll do, like show.nav link, show.nav button.show, and drop-down menu.show. Okay. Whitelist. If you want to whitelist, this is this. weird, but like it already did not work in the first test. So anyway, I will give it a try. Okay, now we're looking at the same size, but still not working or not. Not sure. No, it's not working. Okay, what to do? Zip list is not allowing this CSS to mm, mm, work. It's not working. Weird. Drop down menu is something we have. Drop down menu in, drop down item, focus, div, blah blah blah. Interesting. Can I do something like very simple? I know the class, just allow it. Does this even work? Group 4. No. Okay, safe listing. Sure, what we sent like a random yep button. This is a very simple list that we want. Why it's not working? You can simply select a regular expression with blah blah blah. Okay. Oh, regular expression, standard, deep, and greedy. For example, the selector starting with red, such as BG red, selectors ending with blue, as well as other children such as blue P or something. So we basically have to like drop down first or something, and should work. And then this one, okay. Okay, so it's like regex that we have to use. So this one is did not work. What I want is deep, and under that, what I want is something like this. What is the greedy one does? Like selectors that have any part ending with yellow, such as button, BG yellow or other class, will be left in the final CSS. Okay, this could be so like include anything that's inside the. Okay, okay, interesting. Let's try to do like this. I want anything that is drop down menu. If I'm not wrong, that is what the class we are trying to add. Uh, okay, let's check again. Is that the correct class name? Just to be sure. Drop down. Yeah, drop down menu is something we want. Drop down menu, and we want everything after it. So it should be this one. Blue dollar. Okay, and if we run that again, 22.4 was the layer base optimized CSS. Interesting. We are getting error. What is the error here? T dot function is not defined. Okay. Oops, sorry. I was supposed to pass the regex. I just passed the string. Okay. Okay, we can see some size increased here. Check. Yep, it's working. Perfect. So we now know how it's was working. Say dark mode, it is working fine. Auto, nice. So we have got to a point like we can optimize this one. Drop down menu, then something like this, or show. So anything like after the drop down menu should be added or something. Okay, nice. So this one is working fine. Like uh, we did. I'm not sure what's this optimization going on. So if I remove that and just come back and do the build again. So we're getting the same CSS like main.css, and can we do quick optimizations? I guess there is some like refactoring things in here. I just wanted to check if we can just refactor some of these models. So no, anyway, I'll just keep it as it is. Just wanted to simplify this one, but I don't see any reasons to do that at the moment. So this is good. And our new metrics are, we went from 200 KB to 22 KB. Okay, we can optimize this even further if we want, but yeah, like in here SAS optimization plus purge CSS. Oops, we are getting around 22.5 KB. Yeah. We can remove this drop down that we added for the test. All right. Next thing, we'll just commit this and ship to the next bundler, which is parcel. So we have the new achievements. We went from 227 KB to 22.5 KB. We can do even for the optimization, but we'll look into that later. As you noticed here, like for some reason the JavaScript size is kind of keep increasing. We'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, at webpack purge CSS. Okay, now let's switch to the parcel.js purge CSS. Is there any plugin that we can use or something? So this is one. Do we even need a plugin? Does parcel has anything offer like removing unused CSS? Like there is some optimizations like parcel optimizer. Minify the CSS as a bundle default. Parcel uses lighten CSS to perform the minifications. Okay. Anyway, this is fine. Yeah, before switching to the parcel, let's try to do a quick lighthouse check on the web this our this page, just to see if we are getting the warning of unused CSS. So what I'll do is I'll try to switch into the private window here. And then we'll just go in here and a minute. Let's do the build again. I think oh, that drop down is not removed basically. Okay, now when we refresh, we are good. Let's do the page analyzation. Okay, okay, so we have got rid of unused CSS warning and enable text compression. So okay, so it's asking for like minification or something. Enable text compression, blah blah blah. How Lighthouse handles this text compression. Okay, so this can be handled into like server side. Not needed in here. Then first thing we have in the warning is reduce unused JavaScript. I will come back to this one. So we have got rid of the unused CSS warning, which is good. Now let's switch to the parcel. Okay, since we have got this working, we'll do like just we have to merge this again. I think we just commented out and did not merge this, so I'll just do the local merge here. Okay, do I have old merge back into the main, and we can delete this one. There you go. Button states, hover states, everything is working fine. Links working fine. Yeah, that's it. That's what we will like needed. Okay, now coming back to the parcel. Okay, first we'll need to do a little bit research on like is there any plugin for this one or not? Like if not, then how we can add this. So what is this? There is an open issue. Per CSS and CSS, paper CSS, purging these classes. Okay, there is not much of pin here. Okay, I do see one here, like working example. Okay, what this guy is doing. Rip CSS, dev CSS, build post CSS is something what he's running. I don't see any parcels. Okay, is this a plugin or something? I don't know. Create persistence in the project root directory and then it's a parcel plugin for CSS. Okay. Okay, so I think this one we already have opened it. Disable term, no, this is only not maintained anymore. Okay. So this is a dead plugin, so we cannot use that. I do not want to develop any plugin. With parcel 2, pulse CSS can be used without additional plugins. Interesting. Post CSS plugins config and pulse CSS config. Interesting. And what we are using in here? Are we using any post CSS in here? No, parcel transform SAS. And we do have this parcel. Okay, transformer exchange plugin. Okay, post CSS and purge CSS config.js. Let's read this one. Parcel share configuration. Where is the configuration? Parcel configuration share between using parcel RC file. Returning JSON file. So this is can't we use JavaScript or something? Okay. Okay, we have the SAS transformer here. Interesting. Transformers. Transforming assets. Is there any documentation for existing like old ones? So now, you know what? Let's copy paste these things. But CSS config.js is something we are going to copy. And then you can just copy this content. I don't think this will work. We'll have to change the paths or something. Let's go into this package, and this package uses plugin source map and SAS. Put CSS config, post CSS config.json, parcel comes with additional CSS. Okay. Interesting. The shares might be caused no recent activity. Suspicious warning during what you do process includes caching ability. Static classes. Okay, whatever that is we need to figure things out. How can we get it working? ChatGPT should to help. Parcel JS purge CSS for Bootstrap. You can follow it. Install parcel JS if you haven't already. Yeah. It's like some parcel JS put CSS Bootstrap, please. There you go. Okay, interesting. So what they're asking to do, like use purge CSS separately, which is good. Like build the files, then the override the files and everything. So okay, interesting. Install Bootstrap, parcel bundler, and everything that we already have installed. Changing. Okay, parcel bundler. Is there such thing? Okay, it is experimental. Yeah. Optimizer. Compression overview. Bundle inlining. Development, dev server, hot load caching, HTTPS, proxy, a lot of things. Code splitting, shared models, dependency resolutions. Then we have bundle inlining, targets, parcel. These are the targets. Then you can do blah blah blah. Production, build, minification. Also includes minifier for JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, and SVG out of the box. Okay. SWC, so like Latin CSS and blah blah blah. Development branch removal, image optimization, also support resizing and converting optimized image in vary the parameters, blah blah. Okay, interesting. Different bundle handling. bundle analyzer, bundle blah blah. Okay, report. Did we have? Okay, so what we need to do here is, by the way, this ChatGPT never install the per CSS, so we'll have to install that. Getting started, and what I'll do in here, just go and install the per CSS first. I'm saying this is like build dependency. Where did it add it? Oh, there you go. Then we can create the config. So per CSS config is something that we want, and the syntax is like that. But yeah, before that, what we'll say, like and output directory blah blah blah. So in the package.gis, and what we have is build index public dash dash public URL is / this directory and whatever, and we'll do the purchases config. Let's see if this works. This will override this directory, so that is, we'll have to watch out. Config css config.js is the file that we're looking for, and under this file what they're doing is specify the HTML files to scan for the CSS classes. Okay, and that is what we have done here. So what I'll say, yeah, we can just copy this one, that like I just want the directory to be copied. Then let's run npm run start. Oh, okay, instead of running the start, what we'll do, like npm run express, we'll use express server. Like we want to test on some like production example instead of like dev server. So anyway, like whatever that is works, it works. npm run build, let's see if that works. Okay, segmentation for parcel build blah 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 this directory. Okay, so what we'll need to do is remove this possibly, and just give it another try. Segmentation fault 11 parcel build source index.html. Interesting. Let's copy paste this one in here, and I'm getting this error. Weird. Nope. How about we separate this one? Oops, sorry. Since this is like separate command, so first we are going to build it. Then we are going to optimize it. Okay. How about that? Okay, we have the build. Then we are going to call it optimize. Okay, and an option out. Yeah, this is ChatGPT's fault. But CSS, then configuration and everything. I want the CLI, but CSS, we have to call it output instead of out. Okay. Okay, let's fix that one. Let's do the optimization. Is there any metrics that you can return when you call the CLI? Okay, output metrics. But CSS metric to understand the renaissance, like when system logging, building a track. Or it bundle size. Yeah, this is weird. Does for CSS offer any keyframes? Option to remove unused keyframes. Region content list. I do not see any like optimized CSS numbers here. But anyway, so when we start the server on, let's try to visit the port 3000 just to check. Okay, the icons are not working, and if we check the file size in here, okay, it's still 133 KB, so basically it's not working. Okay. How about this? Okay, under the dist. When I run this one, is there anything that changed in this one? Yes, it's still 11131. Okay, so what we want to do here is want to grab all the CSS and pass it into the config. Where is the config reference? Over here. Content is equal to start.html src index.html. Then CSS is equal to any CSS or something. We can say dot anything .html. Okay, and can we do the same for the CSS? Can we dynamically select the CSS? Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, my file is purge CSS. Config is this. Okay, and make CSS file dynamic. I think there is like uh, not this one. Okay, let me change my question here. Is like change CSS to select uh, all files in the directory. Okay, okay, we are not looking into this now. CS is similar to content. You can specify what should be processed by with an array of file names or globs. Yes, we do have the globs. So what we can do, we can just refer to the webpack here, and what we're saying. What we could do here is something like this. We're going to go into the dist and select all /all and yes. I'm not sure this will work, but we just try. How about we change the directory to like something else for the testing purpose? So opt. Yeah, it's not working basically. Yeah, cannot find our directory. Okay, let's create the directory here. In the opt we got the CSS. Interesting. And okay, so it is working basically. We just need to optimize this one. And there you go. And after this you try to reload. Voila, we are at 22.6 KB, but our icons are not working. That is one thing. Drop downs are not working, so let's fix the drop down as we'll end with the Bootstrap like webpack purchase. So in the zip list we can just copy paste this one, and we want to allow this one. Okay, and when we do that, refresh our drop down, it's still not working. Do I have to restart my server or something? Okay, let's open it. Click drop down menu. Okay, show is not working, and if we find it out and see, this is not working. Okay, in here do we have option for the zip list keyframe? Zip list, yeah, it's the same as we did previously. So Cephalid is an object, then in that object we can pass the classes. So it should include this one, but it's not working for some reason. deep, greedy, and so on. So if I become greedy, what happens? A lot of things happen. It's not working. Now CSS 00 something. So okay, you know what? Let's delete the run the build again. Let's just delete the distribution folder and rebuild again. So we have files 128 and so on in the dist folder, and then we'll try to optimize this. Okay, and now we'll try to reload this one. I do see one match. Okay, drop down the show is there. Okay, so let's do the optimization again. Okay, 4 characters selected, it drop down show is there. It's working now. I don't know, maybe some issues with okay, this is working. We are getting the size around of 22.7 KB, and over here we do have issues that some icons are not loaded, like CSS is not loaded here. So what we have to do here is we'll have to allow the SVGs or something. So let's check that again, like why it's not working, what they have been using here. Okay, bi theme icon active blah blah blah. So if I just run the build here and not the CSS SVG sunfill, the theme toggle is working fine. The table looks a bit different here, not sure. Here's the final one. Let's compare with the Bootstrap's example. This is the pricing table. The table looks different because these SVGs are not working. So we'll have to find out why it's not working. Okay, they're using the right. So why our SVGs are not working, and let's check the HTML how it was like. Into the parcel index.html, not under this folder. I want it inside the index.html, and over here we are using this theme icons or something. Am I missing something here? Like when we do the build, this should work by default. So basically the icons are not working because either because of the build statement that we have in here. Public URL is something we are specifying, distribution directory is the dist or something. Okay, so there is nothing new in here. Anyway, so in here, why Okay, you know what? Let's try to serve this with the parcel and see if that works. Npm run start. And 234. Yeah, it's not working in here either, so um, some issues with the svg's icon. uh, uh, mm, what can we do to fix this? Let's try to like ensure that we have copied everything from the webpack just to ensure. Okay, this is coming from parcel, and this is the webpack. Okay, let's webpack. We have style.css. Interesting. So this is coming into the parcel. Okay, let's close the head and everything, and we're just copy pasting the entire thing in here, and then we have the style.css in here. Let's try. Okay, it's hot reloaded. Okay, still same issue. We are not rendering the icons, svg icons. So this must be has to do to like partial svg in html, svg files reference blah blah blah. Is there any setting that I have to enable or something? In production or partial minifies your so-called reduced file size and render by default. Partial uses svg to perform the svg minification. To configure svg, or you can create svg in the production. Okay, so there is some svg issues going on in shell. I think we'll need to configure this one. So what we'll do is just switch to the ChatGPT and just try to get additional information that we can use to render the svgs. Parcel bootstrap svg not working. Is there anything that we can get? Parcel rc, make sure svgs are included list of supported files. Let's copy this parcel size, the config. By the way, we don't, we need this purge css, so that is fine. However, you haven't specified any configuration for handling svgs. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I guess we'll have to add the svgs as well. Let's give it a try and just see. I'm not sure this will work. And let's give it a try. Yep, it's working now. Nice. So once that is done, and we can just do the optimize now, and our build size was 100 and what, 28. Now we will be looking at css is 26.3 kb. Interesting. Okay, nice. So this one is working fine. Very good. Our drop downs are working, our overstates are working. I think we are going to use the same for the wheat as well. So add, yeah, we have to note the metrics. So basically the only way to check, how can I grab the metrics? Okay. Purge CSS. Print the optimized bundle sizes. I misspelled. Run purge CSS with the okay, so we can basically run on like custom analyze the build output once you understand blah blah blah. CSS file path. Again, we can check that and everything. Okay, so this one is not on like whatever the priority that I'm looking for, but anyway, the default size is this one. How about like, can we combine these two? Ensure like, yeah, we already did try to do that. And this one, this was throwing segmentation error before, but it is working now. Very strange. No, it's not. It doesn't like print the file size that we have printed it. So this is not very useful. So I'll just change the like optimize CSS here. So we'll just use the purge CSS to do the thing. Okay, and after this, what we have in here. So let's try to reload the page again and see our bundle size here. CSS is now 22.9, but we have lost the this thing. So let's do the build again. And do the optimize. Oops, there is no such command. We have just renamed to optimize CSS. And if we refresh, nope, it's not working. But oops, if I run the build, will it work? Very strange. Let's close that server. Okay, let's run npm run express. I think just minor issue here. We run the build. It should include the svgs. This will be running on the port 3000. It's not including the svgs for some reason. Very weird. Parcel build src blah blah blah, and parcel src, it was running and working fine in a moment ago. Okay, let's do the npm start again just to cross check things. Okay, it will be on the port 801234, I guess. Yeah. But it stopped working now for some reason. Okay, what did I change here? Purge CSS config. This is why parcel CSS. SVGs are not working for some reason. Very weird. Let's close this one. Localhost 123.123, and yeah, the CSS, as you can see, what, it's not optimized. Let's delete that again and then start. Okay, it's included now. Let's close that. Let's remove this folder, npm run build. I think it's not like overriding the file or something. If I run the build and npm run express just to serve the server, it will be again running on the port 3000. Yeah, it's not including the files into the build for some reason. Okay, are we getting any errors? Favicon not found. Okay, let's get back to the chat GPT. New parcel build not including switches. There's my config. Working about your contract issue where switches on. Okay. How about we do something like parser clean and then this every time we do that, just to clear the cache. And let's also add the transformer. I don't think we need this, but anyway, just to keep it consistent. SAS and SVG transformer. Okay, I think this was the issue. It should fix that. Okay, now let's run npm run start just to ensure everything works. Build fail entry clean doesn't exist. Okay, do we have to install the parcel CLI is already installed. Okay, let's do this again. I meant close it. npm run start. Okay, and if we visit now, the SVGs are working fine. Let's shut it down. And over here, these are working now. Very weird. Npm run build, and we are going to do the same. I think the issue was like I did not install the package. Okay, and if we restart now, it is working, and we are going to do the optimize CSS. Okay, and if we check the network performance now, it is 26 KB. Okay, so basically it's increased the size. Interesting. Again, let's cross check. We are not being greedy here. Okay, now we have the purge CSS up. We can do like update our metrics. I think there are some issues with this guy in here. So the size is 26 KB. Okay, went from 128 to 26. Nice. Okay, now the purge CSS is done. Next thing will with the parcel, next thing will switch to the weight. Okay, so weight, is there any plugin? I think wait is the like final thing for the bird CSS. We can just add this one and go with this. So like we do have some documentation here, create my app and blah blah blah. What I think is happening here is like other ways to optimize the CSS and so on. So install the per CSS plugin. Okay, Vue does has this plugin, so let's switch into the Vite now. Okay, this one is done. Cd Vite. And under the Vite, let's start the server. npm run start. This will start the Vite server on the port 8080. It's compiling the assets and everything. Okay, we have the Vite and everything. Everything is working. Okay, now we'll try to integrate the pod CSS in here. So one way I can see in the documentation is there is some plugin, and the issue here is that this is not like proper Vite project. It's just like we followed the Bootstrap documentation and it created the project for us. So we'll continue with that. Okay, and let's search on the GitHub on this profile wherein we can check for the official plugin for Vue.js or something. No, it's not like official, so I think that is just going to be the package or something. Roll up webpack plug. Okay. I think they have just stopped. Is this the case for the webpack? The plugin is deprecated. Just realize but CSS. No. Think this is directly integrated into the package, I guess. Anyway, so what we'll do, we'll try to go with this flow. View create app. I think this is for like View only app, but I can see the HTML as well. So anyway, let's install the package. I think purge post CSS, purge CSS. Link started, and what we have installed here, the parcel. Post CSS, okay. And what we did in here, purge CSS webpack plugin, something we have. For the view, what they're saying is you can just install by this one. What is the command to install it? Okay, let's give it a try. This will install the per CSS plug. Install here, and I think we can just copy paste the file. Don't see any Vite, so let's go into the Vite here. Okay, config, build options, models and everything. CSS target Does this option allow you to save different, okay, CSS minify. Is there anything related to purge? Nope. CSS, what do you have? What's the target minify? Post CSS and everything. Okay. Okay, let's do one way, like we are getting the distributed files in the assets here. So let's delete that now. What we'll do is use the same approach that we used for the parcel. So what we'll do is just copy paste some of these files. I need the purge CSS config, and then I also need to add this optimize CSS command in here. Okay, so if we like do the build now, like npm run build, and after that we run the server, npm run express instead of running the server. The bundle size is 128, and we are back onto the port 3000. We can just get it working. Like if we inspect now under the network, our CSS file size is 129. Now what we'll do is we already have the purge CSS installed, and to run it we have already configured this one. So what we'll do, like npm run optimize CSS. Okay, and after we do that and refresh, we are getting no optimization at all. So this one is not working. White config blah blah blah. Okay, so let's copy and install this guy instead of what we did in here, like directly install the purge CSS. Now npm install -t, I want this one, and npm uninstall, I want to remove this one. And it should work now. Oops, sorry. npm install port css. Actually I just want to use post css plus css, not that one. And let's start the express server now, and if we refresh, zero optimization because we haven't run the optimization yet. So we run the build first just to keep consistency, and after the build we'll run the optimize css, and after this we refresh, we are getting no optimization at all. So why it's not working? We're in the white. Okay, like into the width. Okay, so we are not targeting the right directory here, so let's go into the CSS dist. It should have worked, like, but it's not. Will it work? Nope. So we can go into the assets and give it another try. Oh, very weird. Okay, this folder, whatever that is in like CSS, it's including entire Bootstrap, and in the package.json file they're calling purge css config, which is this one, src html blah blah blah. What we'll do is just change the directory here to opt, and just to ensure that command is actually working. Okay, interesting. We have the file. It seems that it has included everything. No, it did not. 404. Okay. Says 129 KB. Let's change the directory to dist and assets. Okay. So that was the issue here. Can we configure the dist directory here as well? I think so. So we'll come back to that later. But yeah, let's optimize the CSS now. And we were just using the wrong path here, guys. Okay, so let's run that again, and we are down to 22.8 KB. Very good. Everything is working fine, SVGs and all, and that's it for the optimizing CSS. Okay, let's now try to refactor these and make it so that these are like going to work with everything. Okay, it was a really good learning curve. We forgot to add the purge CSS metrics on wheat. And the metric was 22.8 KB. I think this is the by far this second most smallest. Just a second. I think it might be run build. I think these metrics are wrong, so just the JavaScript metrics are wrong, I think. So we'll just try to fix that. Okay, the JavaScript is 83.95 here, so we'll have to add that. We haven't done any optimization in here. Same thing for parcel and pm run build, and the best metrics are 93.43, and let's go for webpack and pm run build, are getting JavaScript for 80 KB. There you go. Okay, now going back to our repository, uh, github.com, and after that I want to go to like BS5 optimization experiment. In here you can see now the metrics and Bootstrap plus Webpack 2.22.5 from 227, which is really good optimization. We have to update the docs for these for the Webpack as well. Okay, the next thing we are going to optimize is JavaScript. So for that, let's go to the Bootstrap docs and see if there is anything that like officially covered. Import Bootstrap in share. We can see you can also import individual packages and everything. So we'll do that imports optimization first, then I think this should be more than enough optimization because it will only include the CSS or JavaScript files that we want. So only thing that we want is drop down. So let's go ahead and do that. In the src, the main, we have this like CSS going on, and we are doing our own optimization. So like Bootstrap import, like we're trying to import everything, but what we'll do now here is we'll only import the drop downs. So that is the only thing that we are using, and we can just comment this out. Okay, and after this, let's switch into the webpack. Oops, cd webpack. There you go. And let's run the build now and see what we are getting. I just input in the drop down here. Okay, now our JavaScript size is still 80 KB, and let's see what is going on in here. So we'll just npm start, and this will start the server on port 3000. Is it? Yes. Nope, sorry, it's like webpack, so it's so the shadow class I think isn't working. We can add that, but I think this is fine. We can improve this, like the C JavaScript is quite big here. Okay, let's run the build again, and we'll just npm run express instead of start. I think start is adding some additional hot reload and all these things. So our JavaScript is now 82 KB. what if I just do not include any JavaScript at all and try to run the build? And the main.js is 1.39 KB. Okay, so if we refresh this and try to open it, it will not work. So we'll just enable the drop downs and then run build. So the drop down has some dependency from the drop, but anyway. Okay, and let's do the shift refresh here just to be sure. There is not much of the improvements that we are seeing in here. So it's still like 82 KB in the JavaScript, and or do we see anything in here? main.js.lightsyn.txt. CSS is what we have improved. So notice this SVGs are different here. Oops, sorry, I was in the auto mode. It still says the JavaScript is not optimized, so let's try to run the Lighthouse report again. And in share, let's do the page analysis. Okay, and reduce unused JavaScript. We can see there is some potential improvements that we can make. So what happens if I just comment out this, and I don't think that problems will work, but yeah. I think it's adding popper.js or something. That could be the reason. It won't work. So if I add the drop downs and we run build, yeah, the size is still same. What we were getting previously in here is 80 KB, and what we are getting after the optimization is the same. So there is basically no change in the optimization. How about we just remove like as well. Use JavaScript. How we can optimize this? Read over your script, blah blah blah, production optimization, CSS, and everything. This is fine. So there is basically not much of an improvement there. Okay, so how we can okay, let's go to the ChatGPT, Bootstrap, remove unused JS. Oh yeah, we already did that. There is not much of the improvement. in the Bootstrap's final JavaScript file? Or am I missing something? How about I just comment out this, and yeah, we will see the improvements, but just wanted to make sure that the build is working as we want. Okay, we're seeing like some KBs of the JavaScript optimized. Yep, not much of an improvement. Okay, so I think that's it for the today. We'll have to look into for the JavaScript optimization, and we will continue for the optimizing JavaScript uh, maybe tomorrow. Okay, so that's it. So we have like successfully optimized the CSS. We went from 227, or you can say 222 at least, to like 22 and 26 kbs sizes. We have to look into for the JavaScript. I'm not seeing any much of the difference when we are just selecting the drop down only into the import statement of the main.js. So it's still like exactly it is as importing start from the from the Bootstrap or something. Okay, so yeah, that's it. We'll continue tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening maybe.